For my food presentation project, I chose the food feijoa, which is from Brazil, and it is known that the traditional Brazilian dish called feijoa originated from slavery because the slaves would collect scraps from leftover beans and meat in order to create the stew. This dish is known as a heavy food, which is widely important because all the heaviness that comes with the beans and the meat. This allowed families to be able to feed large groups because of the proportioning of the dish. This dish is important to Brazilian culture because it represents the struggle of people who were working on the sugarcane plantations. The nutrition components include for a two serving sizes, the calorie count is 691 and the fat is 333. There are 37 total grams of fat and 39 grams of carbohydrates. Feijoa increases the risk of developing any diseases in humans because it is widely known for the heaviness of the meal, and like I said before, it has a high fat and calorie content. The main ingredients are black beans and any type of meat, but it is usually some variation of beef. And then the beans are also a great source of protein alongside the meat included in the dish. Seasonally, the wet dry season in Brazil is between the months of January and March. September and November, which means they are harvested in January through March. But beans are a great food that are easily preserved. So you can eat this dish year round, and the availability is very high because the ingredients are easy to access, and it's very sustainable because the contents of the dish the contents that the dish are made of are sustainable ingredients. So to prepare the food, this is a list of ingredients. You're going to use black beans, olive oil, bacon, which is more of a modified Americanized version. You can use pork rib, and sometimes people will add sausages like chorizo, or you'll use smoked sausage, onion, garlic, tomato, salt, pepper, bay leaves, and then you're going to eat this with rice. So you're going to have to soak your beans overnight, and then you're going to have a large soup pot that you would use maybe like a crock pot on medium heat, and you're going to start adding the meat and browning it, and then you're going to have to drain the grease and then add more oil to the pan, and then add in your vegetables like your onion, your garlic, and then you're going to add your soaked beans along with the meat and the seasonings and the bay leaves and water. And then you are going to bring the mixture to a boil, cover it, and then depending on if the stew is too liquidy or how you want it, you can cook however long you want. And then you serve it with rice, and people will traditionally sprinkle farfar on top. Trying this food, I enjoyed some parts of this dish. I'm not the biggest fan of certain spice mixes, especially when a dish contains bay leaves. However, I still found this dish quite tasty. I spent 3 weeks in Brazil 2 summers ago, so I was lucky to try all kinds of Brazilian foods, but I had not tried this one before, so I wanted to do my project about it. The meal was definitely more Americanized, but the main flavors were there, and it was good. So this is a picture of the food. Obviously, the recipe is modified because you can't really it's not super easy to make and have all the ingredients. So my comparison is my own social and cultural experiences with foods are very limited because I did not grow up around all the dishes and flavors that are so widely used outside of the United States. However, going through this project, I got to learn a lot about new flavor profiles, and even researching the foods, I got to look at more traditional dishes from countries. And then these are my references, and that is all.